Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something completely different and incredibly exciting. We're taking sprawling, multi-hour insights on power, identity, and strategy from some of the world's greatest thinkers, and we're distilling them into a short, purely visual blueprint. We're completely bypassing the talking heads and the rambling, no matching the original voices, no guests on screen, just a brand new way of delivering these incredible concepts directly to you as a highly focused roadmap for self-actualization. So grab your notebook and get ready to focus. Let's build your blueprint.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the power of skill, embracing strangeness, reputation psychology, the dance of absence, the danger of certainty, and finally, the privilege of pressure. We are moving straight from internal development to external mastery. Let's get right into it. Pillar 1, the power of skill, and how it literally changes your brain's matter. So why are skills like gold? Well, think about it for a second. Without specific talents or a structured direction, life kind of feels incredibly aimless, doesn't it? But when you acquire knowledge, you're basically hoarding this currency that you're going to trade for unimaginable value down the road. Take the author Robert Greene as an example. He spent years, slowly building his writing skills across journalism, struggling to write novels, and dealing with the absolute chaos of Hollywood. None of it felt like a clear path at the time, but every single repetition was laying fertile soil for his massive future success. And the craziest part? The reason this works isn't just metaphorical, it's straight up biological. There was this fascinating UCLA neuroscience study on OCD patients, and it showed that intense focus and specific mental strategies physically changed their brain scans. Just think about how wild that is. Your thoughts are non-material, but your deep focus literally physically rewires the hardware of your brain to unlock future paths. When you lock in on learning a skill, you are fundamentally altering your own biology. That brings us to Pillar 2, embrace your unique strangeness and the biological power of oddity. Here's a pretty hard truth about the modern world. If you are replaceable, you will inevitably be replaced by someone cheaper. The ultimate defense against this? You've got to become a non-fungible person. These are individuals whose eccentricities and peculiar tastes make them completely irreplaceable. Just as strange mutations in biology create vital life-sustaining diversity within a habitat, your personal oddities are exactly what give you immense value. Seriously, your quirks aren't flaws, they are your biological superpower. Now, as social animals, we face this immense pressure to regress to the mean, to conform to some fake acceptable average just so we fit in. But true power comes from the exact opposite. It comes from embracing your mutation. Think of Temple Grandin. Instead of trying to mask her severe autism, she channeled the incredibly unique way her brain worked into profound academic success. She became a total powerhouse in her field because she leaned entirely into her oddity. Moving on to Pillar 3, the psychology of reputation. Remember, credibility has no return policy. At the end of the day, power is pure psychology. A CEO rarely rises to the top just because of raw statistics or a good batting average. No, they rise by mastering the perception of their optics, because credibility is the one thing you should never sell. You simply cannot buy it back. We live in an era where one single, thoughtless internet post from 2009 can surface and completely derail a career today. If you trade your credibility away for some short-term gain, you are completely bankrupting your future. So how do you protect that incredibly fragile asset? You need a core soul to your character, absolute consistency. Because if you lack a core, or if you allow your enemies to poke holes in your story, your authoritative aura pops instantly, just like a balloon. And above all else, you can never, ever allow the outside world to write your reputation for you. You have to be the author. Which leads us to Pillar 4, the dance of absence, and cultivating value through scarcity. You just can't be everywhere all the time. Consider Napoleon's theater strategy. If he showed up in his emperor's box every single day, his presence became common. He was just another guy. If he showed up every week, it generated some mild interest. But by strategically appearing just once a month, his arrival became a massive, highly anticipated event. He actively manufactured his own value through scarcity. And this dynamic directly mirrors our biology, specifically variable schedule rewards. If lab mice know exactly when a lever is going to deliver a treat, they get totally bored and casual about it. But if the food delivery is totally unpredictable, oh, they obsessively press that lever. Human dopamine works exactly the same way, whether it's a slot machine paying out or your phone buzzing with a text message. Make your presence or your output a little intermittent and unpredictable, and people will pay far more attention. All right, Pillar 5, the danger of certainty, and why stupidity causes way more harm than evil. To navigate life effectively, you really need fluidity. And the fastest way to destroy that fluidity is to assume you have all the answers. The stupidest people are always the ones who think they are undeniably right. The ancient Greeks actually recognized this thousands of years ago. They saw that overconfident, short-sighted fools cause infinitely more real-world damage than intentionally evil villains. Think about the leaders who rushed blindly into the Peloponnesian War. They were absolutely certain of an easy victory, and they ended up destroying their own golden era. Certainty breeds catastrophic blind spots. So the antidote to that dangerous certainty is something called negative capability. Coined by the poet John Keats, this concept is actually the secret behind true creative genius, like Shakespeare's. It's essentially the superpower of holding two completely contradicting thoughts in your head at the exact same time without passing immediate judgment. Embrace this cognitive superposition, and you can deal with the messy ambiguity of the real world without rushing to disastrous conclusions. And finally, Pillar 6, the privilege of pressure, and using deadlines to force mastery. Look, without pressure, humans don't just relax. We tend to dissipate our energy into endless distractions. Take Thomas Edison. He went out publicly and promised the press he would light the entire city of New York with electric light in 5 years. And the crazy part? He hadn't even fully figured out the incandescent light bulb yet. But he used a massive public promise to artificially force a deadline. He basically created a barometric pressure of social expectation. He weaponized social pressure to guarantee his own execution. Which brings us to how we actually frame success and failure. Early, unearned success is often a curse because it breeds complacency. The pressure disappears way before you've actually built real discipline. Contrast that with the crucible of early failure. When 50 Cent lost his record deal and got shot early in his career, he had absolutely nothing. But that immense, literal life or death pressure forced him to fiercely innovate. He bypassed the cautious record labels entirely and took his music straight to the streets with mixtapes. The anvil of failure is exactly what forged his mastery. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Are you shaping your own reputation, or are you letting the world define it for you? Thank you so much for joining this deep dive. Like we set out to do, we bypassed the standard talking heads today to deliver this direct, highly focused visual blueprint, a completely new way of getting these amazing ideas to you. Now, the true test is yours. Take this framework out into the real world and actively apply it in your own life. Catch you next time.